Hey Fam Jam, welcome to glowSTRONG. We are all about health, wellness, and good food. It's me, Leslie Genoa, and today we're going to be heading up north with Jay Brown, the Sask hiker. Then we're going to be joining Greg Reed with Reed's Artisanal Butchery and talking about produce from farm to table. And lastly, we're going to have a little bit of a party at the Market Under the Stars in downtown Regina. We are here with the Sask hiker, Jay Brown.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Tell me who you are. Like, what is a Sask hiker?
Sask hiker, I guess, is like the moniker I gave myself on a whim one day. I'm not anybody special. I'm like anybody else, but I just love spending time outside, especially in Saskatchewan. And over the last couple of years, as I started exploring the province more, I started to realize that more people should be doing this.
Yeah.
So I started saskhiker.com. That essentially just is almost every hiking trail that I've been on, and almost all of them in the province. Cool. How to do them, where to find them, and so you can go find them for yourself and enjoy them.
So if someone was looking just to get into it, they're a beginner, they've never done it before, maybe they're new to our province, they could go to your website and just see what you've actually done yourself.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who can hike?
You know, anybody can hike. Like, you know, there's day hikes, which we're doing today.
Yep.
Right? You need a backpack, some water,
Bug spray,
a little bit of food maybe,
yeah.
Right? You know, that's kind of what you need to start. You know, I always recommend having a couple things, like always having a headlamp and a lighter with you, because you never know.
Just in case.
You know, those are the things that, like, you don't need them until you need them.
Then you're like, oh,
I wish I had this, right? But yeah, like, you know, just start small.
Okay.
What great thing about Saskatchewan is that it's flat. And people always say, like, use flat is like a 4-letter word, like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? And to me, I never understood that. Like, I've spent a lot of time, you know, down the Caribbean, looking at the ocean and how flat it is, and everybody around me is always like, oh, how beautiful this is, right? And it's
Why
like,
not in Saskatchewan?
yeah, like, but we have the same thing of that, but it's you know, I've been places where you stand and it's an ocean of grass, right? And you don't really get that anywhere else. This province, you're not going to find your Instagram moment 50 meters into the trail.
Right.
Right? Like, you know, if you really want to just get that frame shot of you looking over, like, you know, the mountain lake where the parking lot is very clearly behind you, but you framed it out, you know, you're not going to get that here. You have to be willing to kind of put a little bit of effort in, but that effort becomes much more rewarding.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about a story that really stands out to you.
I always remember this time that I was in Cypress Hills by myself. So Cypress Hills, if you've ever been there, it's beautiful and very distinct. It's distinct, right? Because you're on top of the world there. Yeah. Right? There's not another mountain chain that gets in your way. You stand on there and you see just open grasslands. There's also a lot of, like, rich Saskatchewan history in Cypress Hills. Yeah. Basically what the story is there is a First Nations tribe that was in the area. They were winter camping. Some American wolfers came across the border. There was a story or a dispute about some horses being stolen. Nobody knows exactly what happened there. But eventually what happened is these American and some Canadian whiskey traders and wolfers walked into the coulee and opened fire into this camp. So it's a very, like, sad part of Canadian history, but it's a part of our history. And you can actually, like, hike out there. It's a short hike. It's like 5K. But anyways, the day I went out there was a Sunday, and that whole hike in was probably one of the most, and I'm not a spiritual person, but most spiritual experience I've ever had. Okay. Because you're walking in, it's overcast and there's rain. You're surrounded by these hills. And as I just got to the massacre site, and the whole reason that all happened was, you know, a stupid dispute about horses. Right. These two herds of horses come up. One on top of the hill where I am, and one down in the bottom of the valley. Wow. And they started neighing at each other. Because they were like, this is me, this is your herd.
Yeah.
And you couldn't help but like draw the lines there about like everything was happening, and all of a sudden these horses come down and they just run at each other and get into a horse fight.
That's wild.
So those are like the types of experiences you can have.
Yeah.
And you can have them other places as well, but like those are the experiences I often have about Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
It's like, it always seems like these perfect moments come together, and then you have an experience that like, you're just kind of like, is anybody else here? Like, is anybody else seeing what I'm seeing right now?
Okay, so we're gonna continue on our hike now.
Perfect.
Tagging along, like a little brother, I guess. Josh is gonna join us. It's his first time up north, so we're really excited about that. From Montreal, he's got sticks and twigs.
He's ready to go. Yeah.
And then I guess we'll just keep going and see what else is out there.
Yeah, we'll see what we can find.
Cool.
My mother-in-law was telling me, she read this book. I thought I could get that book from her. So, like, they've recently been some discoveries around forests that, like, they think forests, all trees are actually connected by fungus underneath the ground. And trees actually talk to each other. Like, not necessarily talk to each other, but communicate to each other, like
Lord of the Rings. And a fox kill a human?
So how was your first hike?
I wasn't really expecting anything because I don't really have a point of reference to like an actual hike. I mean, I've been in the woods before, but you know, I definitely grew up in a city, and I'm a city kid for sure. But what I really liked is after about 10 minutes of kind of just walking in here, you like really start to pick up on like what's happening around you and like all the noises that are around you, and forgetting that you have a cell phone in your pocket was actually
really nice.
Quite nice.
Well, that's the whole thing. When you come out here, take your phone with you just in case, you know.
Yeah.
A cool picture
a bear gets you. But the other thing is like, yeah, you gotta like, sometimes you gotta like just like open yourself up to the sounds of it, and that's what I really enjoy about it as well.
But also enjoy each other's company. Like that's another, because you can make it, you can do it individually on your own, but you could also make it a social part, right? With a lot of people, they use fitness or exercise or activity as a social outing for them, because they may not have it otherwise. So it could be also be used in that way as well.
Well, that's the thing is, I've actually said this before, the best conversations you can have are on the trail, especially if you're out there for quite some time. You kind of run out of like the fluffy stuff to talk about in the first hour, and then you really get into the really weird, deep stuff, and like.
So first dates, always take them on a trail.
Yes. Find them on Tinder and then tell them you want to take them deep into the woods.
Yes, that's immediately what you want to do.
Yeah, safety first. You want to be prepared. But at the same time, it's not intimidating.
No.
You're just outside. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're outside, you know, just be a little bit prepared.
Yeah.
Make good decisions. And yeah, like that's the thing is like 99% of the time things aren't going to go wrong, but you want to be prepared for that 1% a little bit.
Just in case.
And that's always the thing. When you go out, when you hear stories of people and they go out in nature and they end up in trouble, a lot of the time it's because they made a mistake that compounded another mistake. And usually the first mistake is just not having the basic things you need.
Yeah.
Right? Having a headlamp when it's dark, pretty helpful. So yeah, I challenge you to go out and experience something new. If you have experienced something that's new, post it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your story is. It's always great to hear, you know, the adventures that people are having. There's a million and one different ways to have fun. Just kind of share it with some other people.
This season of glowSTRONG is brought to you by GMS Health and Travel Insurance. From chiropractor visits to dental care to traveling the world, they make it easy and affordable for you to live well. Talk to your GMS insurance broker today or purchase coverage online now at gms.ca. So today we're here with one of my besties, Greg Reed from Reed's Meats, or Reed's Artisanal Butchery.
Yep. Reed's Meats is 2 years old. Two-ish. We originally started out as a custom butcher shop for another retailer in the city. And then about a year and a half ago, we expanded our brand. So what we do is we connect the consumer with the farmer. So we deal with all 100% Saskatchewan products. Cool. Yeah, and quality is the name of our game.
So one thing that I love when I'm using any of your products is that you do really pride yourself on having all of those farmers at the forefront of your marketing, your advertising, because it's important that we're giving back, we're bringing back.
One of the biggest things that we do is we really try to give the farmers a voice. So, I mean, this beef is awesome. It comes from Triple Hill Farms, that's in Herbert, Saskatchewan.
Cool.
The pork comes from Rempel Farms, that's in Hodgeville, Saskatchewan. And then actually the bison comes from the same little town, and it's from Notikewin Creek. So 3 different proteins, but we trace it all the way back to where the farmer had it, how they raised it, without antibiotics, growth hormones, all that jazz. Yeah.
All those keywords that we love hearing nowadays, especially when we're starting to be so much more health conscious, and especially in Saskatchewan, we're starting to see that so much more, where we want to know where our products are coming from, what's in them, so we're consciously consuming our meats, fruits, vegetables, anything like that.
For sure, and you know, people are eating more plant-based as well, and so we talk about that. You know, when you're eating plant-based, it's great for the environment, it's great for you, but when you're gonna eat meat,
when you choose to.
Yeah, eat great quality meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't waste it.
Don't waste it. Okay, so this is a heritage breed pork. It's a Berkshire Tamworth cross.
Okay.
This is a sirloin cut. So it's the end of the loin. It's still a prime cut. We tie it afterwards. We take it off the bone. And then it makes a good chop or a good steak. Yeah.
Cool.
It's good for grilling season. We throw a little rosemary in there just for flair.
How long would that take to grill?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question.
Yeah, because it's pretty thick.
It's thick. Medium to high heat. We're thinking like 25, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Not bad, though.
And then not too long, and then we rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then this little guy over here.
So this is one of the original reasons why we started Reed's Meats.
Yeah.
The hanger steak. So the hanger is...
It has like a bad name to it, doesn't it? Like not a bad name to it, but like...
Yeah, it's the muscle that helps the animal poop.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the poop muscle.
so let's change their minds about that muscle.
So it's on the outside. It's close to the tenderloin, so it hangs on the chest cavity. It has a big piece of sinew that runs through the middle.
Yeah.
So sometimes the people are off-putting by that. We keep it whole because it grills better whole, and then afterwards you just trim the piece of sinew out. But it's super flavorful. It's super tender. It goes well with marinating, grilling. Yeah.
Tacos. I like tacos with this one. I love bison.
Yeah. And you love these sausages.
I do. They're my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are...
Spicy.
They're spicy. This is an homage to Saskatchewan, essentially. So it's mustard and bison together.
How did you choose what farmers to work with, and how did you curate those relationships between yourself and the farmer?
Yeah, that's the whole name of our game, I guess. And it's a never-ending game. So we're always playing this. We're always looking for new producers. We have some standards that we want to have our animals abide by. We want pasture-raised animals. They need to not come from large feedlots.
Okay.
They need to be raised with, no, especially beef, no growth hormone. We want them to be healthy. We want them not to come from, I said large feedlot already, but I mean, that's the biggest thing. Even some of our beef is 100% grass finished.
So that's what grass finished means. It's like
grass.
they've been raised on grass their entire life. So, okay, I view your business as kind of like a boutique style butchery.
Yeah, for sure.
Butcher shop.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to make your brand specifically aimed at Saskatchewan products, Saskatchewan beef?
Yeah, that's a good question. We hear a lot about Alberta beef. We hear a lot about even PEI blue label beef. We hear about that. We don't hear much about marketed Saskatchewan products. And Saskatchewan actually produces 30% of all the beef grown in Canada. So
good job, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, good job. It's big. It's a big beef producing province. Plus, Western Canada, produces the best beef, I think, in the world. We've been traveling a lot lately, and we've been eating at different steakhouses, and you can't beat the beef that we get here. I mean, the first step is you want a great product, so we have these great products here. Secondly is you need to season properly. So that's the key to any grilling. I'm a purist, and we take pride in dry aging our beef, and we even dry age our pork, so it has lots of flavor already.
Okay.
Kosher salt, I use kosher salt because it's flat and it sticks and adheres to the protein really well. So from high up, we just season it. It should look like a nice dusting of snow. just kind of like that.
Both sides.
Both sides.
Kosher salt. You said that it's because it's flat and it sticks to it better.
Yeah. So it's a sea salt, but it's grown on mats. Oh. And so the grains of salt are really flat instead of like regular table salt, which are like oblong and diamond shaped.
Inside tip number 1.
Yeah, use kosher salt. Cracked pepper.
Okay. I mean, does it matter with pepper? Same thing.
Same thing.
Can you oversalt?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I've oversalted before. And just give it a little like.
Yeah. Ooh. Smack that.
And then flip it over.
Flip it over, yeah. And with this pork too, because it has big edges, get that fat too, because as it renders out, it's going to be really nice and
just like this.
Just like that. Yeah.
Okay, so then after we salt and we season, what is your guidelines or your suggestions for the
cooking time?
Yeah, for cooking time and grilling. Yeah.
So with the hanger steak, I mean, the biggest thing we want to do is we want to grill that pretty quick. So we want to go on direct heat. We want to get good caramelization on both sides because it's thin, right? So we really like that flavor. It's the Maillard reaction, it's called. It's the caramelization of protein. And so as humans, we love it. So that one we want to do on high heat.
Okay.
Get it to its cooking temperature, take it off and let it rest. The pork sirloin, we want to do that more on an indirect heat because it's a bigger cut. We want it to caramelize slowly. We won't want it to dry out. Pork likes to dry out a little bit quicker than beef does. So we want to make sure we do that. And then with the sausages, there's a little bit of sugar in those already. So as we rotate them, we want to kind of do those on indirect heat as well. Cool.
Okay, so let's get grilling.
Let's get grilling.
What we're gonna do is you're gonna cut because I don't want to hack your meat to smithereens. So we're gonna talk about how to cut properly. Why?
Sure. And so we alluded on that kind of on the steak before. We talked about how it has a piece of sinew running down the center, but we leave that there so it keeps the meat intact.
Okay.
So all came off the grill, all rested for an adequate amount of time. And a good rule of thumb is rested for as long as you cook it.
Okay.
So we cooked that for probably 7 to 8 minutes. We rested it for 7 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
So especially with red meat, that's a key because when you're cooking, all the tendons in the meat kind of tense up, and all the juices kind of force to the outside.
Right.
So as you're resting it, everything's kind of relaxing.
And it goes back to the middle.
Back to the middle.
Right.
Keeps it cooked.
Juicy.
It's not running all over your plate or your cutting board. So let's cut this bad boy. So this is the hanger.
Chop it.
We're going to take it has 2 loins, so we're going to take those off first. Okay, 1, and then we'll just take that one off. And you can see the sinew there?
Yep.
So we'll just leave that. And if you have a dog in the house, that's a perfect piece of meat for the dog.
That is a treat.
That's a treat.
Yeah.
So you see how all the grains are kind of running this way?
Yeah.
We want to slice against them. And I do it on an angle so that we get nice. I'm slicing, and I'd like to do angles just so you get nice pieces.
It looks pretty.
Yeah. So the pork, this is the sirloin again. Nice fat cap. We grilled it. It took a little bit longer than the steak. But you can eat pork pink too. That's a misconception that we don't always think. Pork tastes a little bit better cooked like a steak. I like it a little bit more medium well, but you could definitely eat pork pink, especially this pork, pasture raised, delicious.
Cool.
Sure. So let's look for the grains again. You can see all the grains are kind of firing that way. If we wanted to look at it a little bit different, you can see them there up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go against the grain and on an angle, kind of like we did with the beef, and we're just going to slice through.
Imagine me cutting this right now.
I think you would do a good job.
I think I would cut my finger off. Oh,
and doesn't that smell good? I know we don't have smell-o-vision, but the rosemary, and that pork
It
just
does.
smells delicious.
Yeah, it does. This looks really great, and we're gonna probably go eat it now.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for telling us about who you are, what your company is, where we can find you. And we're also going to include instructions on how to cook this, or what suggested timelines or tips for grilling in our links below, so you'll be able to check that out. And otherwise,
yeah, come find us, ask questions.
Farmers Market, Meat Nook.
Meat Nook at District Brewing.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi guys, we are here for our Farm Fresh episode at the Regina Farmers Market. We're super stoked. It's actually really, really hot, muggy, beautiful day out. And I'm here with my co-host today, Giselle from Sprout Catering. So we've both been involved in the farmers market before, and so she's gonna take us through some of the vendors. We're gonna try some treats, and she's gonna find all those like hidden little gems on how we can integrate them into our healthy cooking and our lifestyle.
Yeah, we'll check out some of the local vendors and see what products we can find today.
Perfect. Okay, let's go. Okay, we are here with Randy from Mix Small Batch Granola. Giselle uses his product in the store.
Yeah, right now we're using the carrot cake granola in our like yogurt granola bowl. It's a breakfast menu item, and we just rotate the types of granola that we get from Randy, and this is the one that we're using right now, and it's so delicious. There's like yogurt covered raisins in it, and it tastes like,
you can't go wrong.
It tastes like home. It tastes like so good.
Randy, can you tell us a little bit about what your and your wife's business is all about?
Sure. We've been, like I was saying, we've been at it for a couple of years, and it's taken on a life of its own.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
And it's really, it's just a passion that we both have, and a ton of work, but a ton of fun too.
And that's great. Really what the farmers market is about, is supporting those local vendors and the local people to be able to pursue their passions or what they're interested in, and provide a product and a great service to Reginians and people surrounding that area.
Yeah, it's all about the people.
We really love these. I needed to come over here to buy something.
Right.
Because look how cute everything is.
We are here with Kate from Fat Plant Farm. Why did you start this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, first and foremost, somehow I stumbled across this plant world, and it's just provided me with like a ton of happiness.
Amazing.
I love that.
I'd like to buy something today.
You are more than welcome.
And I like these little turquoise planters. This guy's cute.
I like this one. Don't hate because of the haircut.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get that one.
This one?
Yeah, that's a good one for sure.
And sold.
Yes. I will name you Jane. You now live with me. Mwah. What is your favorite part of the season? The beginning, the middle, or the end? The harvest?
Picking vegetables.
Picking vegetables.
When something is ready, the first ones of the year.
Like the finished product,
yeah.
or why is the harvest?
When the first tomatoes are ready,
Yeah.
you get to eat it, or the first strawberries, or the first.
You're the first one that gets to use it.
For me,
Yeah.
That's such a nice thing, though.
the reward of planting.
We're at Bubba's Pierogies, and we're gonna scarf down a few local made, handmade pierogies.
Yeah, and they've got
with extra pickles,
beef taco topping, some bacon, and some onions on top. It should be pretty good.
Look at that taco. So much fun.
So much fun.
Favorite part?
Like just that it was so nice out, no rain, and so nice to see so many people downtown with their puppies and hanging out with Leslie. Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
So make sure that you go and check out your local farmers market, or join us some other time at the Regina Farmers Market down in the middle and the heart of Regina. So that's our episode for today. Make sure you hit up the comments below on your favorite hiking trails. Also jump over to our Facebook page and follow along next week with our live Q&A about farmers meat, our farmers market, and your favorite hiking trails. Stay active.